Shopify has just made it a lot easier when it comes to managing store navigation. A new duplicate menu feature quietly dropped last month in June, and it's a total time saver. Let me show you how. Okay, so let's take a look into the menu area. So we'll go to content, down into menus. Here we can see the menus I've got on my site. For example, this main menu, which I've named Spring Summer, is this one we've got here on the front end. So if we jump into our main navigation area, you'll see this new top right duplicate button. So that never used to exist. So for us to be able to create another menu, for example, we want to do autumn winter, we would have to go back here, create a new menu like that, call it autumn winter menu, and then one by one, add in the name, your links, etc. So you can imagine if you've got a large menu, this would be very tedious and time consuming. So now, thankfully, we have this duplicate button. So we click that and we will rename that to autumn winter. Perfect. So all of our links and naming convention has all pulled through with the click of a button. So let's go in and change spring summer to autumn winter. And another thing we can do is back to school. We might want to change to Christmas collection. And we'll save that. Okay, now we'll head into the theme Customise. So we'll click into online store, themes, and then Customise. And we'll click into our header. And at the top here, we'll see the menu that we are calling is the spring summer. And we can see that with this drop down here. And the back to school is still showing. So with the click of a button, we can now replace this menu for our new autumn winter. And you'll see, just like that, the new menu has pulled through. So that has just saved us a lot of time. And obviously, the bigger your menu, the larger amount of time you've just saved. But in any case, this is just a no-brainer to have. So that's a good example of changing a menu for launch of Black Friday or new season launches. But how can we use this in other ways? Well, firstly, if you are a Shopify Plus user, which a few of my clients are, I would be looking to use this with the Shopify app called Shopify Launchpad. I can do a future video into this if you're not aware of it, but basically Shopify Launchpad allows you to schedule theme changes, product or collection launches at your desired date and time. So you can prep everything in the background and, for example, change it over for the next day at midnight or at the end of a sale. And on that note, if you are ever A/B testing between different themes to see which one performs best, you may want to include different menus as part of that. So in this case, that duplicate menu button, as you can imagine, is a blessing. Another benefit I'd like to show you is using multiple menus. We can use this for Shopify Markets. So let's take a look at our new autumn winter menu. And you'll see that there's a range called London range. Let's duplicate this menu and we'll call it autumn winter Spain. Then we'll drop down this menu and we're going to change this from London to Spain and hit save. Now we'll head back into our Customise and we are still on our store default version at the moment. But from this drop down menu, I'm going to swap this to Spain and then click into the header again and change this main menu, replace this for our new AW Spain version. So a couple of things to look out for here. Firstly, we want to make sure that we are using the correct menu, which is this Spain range, which is perfect. And if we then look at UK, we'll see London, and likewise the store default, as it's not been changed, is still the London range. So we head back into our Spain version. The key giveaway here is keep an eye on this left-hand panel for this green diamond shape. This is basically showing you what has been customized for each market. So you'll click into header and see that this green diamond is next to the menu. And if you hover over it, you can then hit reset and that will pop back to our default version. So I'll just save this again. Then we'll hit save. And we'll head over to our front end. I'll just hit refresh. So we're on the UK default version right now. And on our drop-down menu, we are seeing the London range. And at the bottom here, we can now view this as UK, or we can choose Spain. So let's take a look at Spain. Now under autumn winter, we should see perfect Spain range. So now we can use different menus for different markets. Now there's one thing to remember, that even though we have said on the drop-down menu for the UK, show London, and for the Spain menu, show the Spain range, these URLs will still be accessible by the other markets if they were to go to the URL bar and type in /collection/London, for example. However, this is a really good way to reduce the traffic from each market going to those collections that you don't want them to. Another example of this is you may have certain collections, say collection 2 here, that can't be imported from, say, UK to US or India to the US. We can exclude those products within the product itself. However, if the US clicked on this collection 2, they would then see an empty collection because the collection is there. However, the products are all hidden from that market. So a way to solve this is to create a new menu for the US, remove collection 2 from it, and that will help to prevent them clicking into an empty collection. So this new duplicate menu feature might seem quite small, but it will save a lot of time in the long run. Plus, reduce the risk of human error when it comes to duplicating menus. And if you haven't already, check out this video here where I show you how I generated an extra £21,000 a month in revenue for a client by adding one small block to their product page. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe.